How many times have I told you that you're going to be let down? I mean, honestly, as much as we want our government doing well, as much as we want to save money, as much as we believe those congressmen are going to do something for us, as much as we want this administration to do what we ask them to do, as a conservative, as someone who wants freedom, I have to realize that sometimes that stuff's not going to happen. That's why I'm so dead set on making sure that I'm self-reliant, self-sufficient as much as possible. Why? Well, today we're going to talk about what RFK just said literally about the commercials that we were supposed to ban. We'll discuss exactly what he said. Also, we're going to discuss, is Elon going to get deported? I mean, is he literally getting sent back to South Africa? Doubtful. But again, we have this fighting between, Elon and Trump, and that's not good. That's not good for the Republican movement. I wouldn't say conservative movement, but the Republican movement. And are we literally seeing this administration getting dismantled? I really honestly believe that things are not going to get a lot better when it comes to, we're going to pay our debts down and things like that. I think we're facing just a monster giant. Now the thing is this, what do I tell you to do each and every day? Well, today we're going to talk about those 5 things. 5 things that you have to do, because when you look to Washington to fix your problems, when you look to your state government to fix your problems, when you even look to your local government to fix your problems, you're going to be let down. Sorry. I'm just going to tell you the truth today. The only thing you can have hope in is the things that God gives us wisdom to understand, and that way we can be ready and face it. And of course, the spiritual things. Today let's discuss, a lot's happening, but anything actually benefiting us. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay. But let us know what you think about today's content. Now, 2 things. At the very end of the video, we're going to do a release of the name of who actually won for the month of June. All it took was you being subscribed and you commenting on this channel and also Life with Colby Mack. Both those channels are put into a pool. I basically look at the analytics, do a random selection, and bam, your name pulls up. The more that you comment, the more that you're subscribed, the more that you give thumbs up, all that's put in our analytics, especially the commenting, and you're entered into the giveaway. So make sure that you are entered into the giveaway by subscribing. And again, we do this each and every month. So if you didn't win this month, stay subscribed, keep commenting, and you're entered each month. The gift that we're giving away is a little solar battery backup. It's worth about $800. We're going to give it to the winner of this month's giveaway. Now, remember too, the Life with Colby Mack channel. That channel is you seeing how we live sustainable. This video today that we're going to be dropping literally in about an hour and a half, you're going to see exactly the pros and cons of living on a farm and how sustainable life is, but also how, enjoy family. Please go and watch those videos, because we want you to see what we talk about on this channel completely helps us understand how we live our life on the other channel, sustainability and prepping. Now let's dive into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about Elon and Trump. They're kind of getting into it again. Elon comes out and says, he's going to support Massey because he believes that Massey doesn't want to spend money. He also comes out again as someone saying, look, this bill is it's terrible. This big, beautiful bill is absolutely terrible. Now, I've told you this before. The sad thing is there's good parts of the bill, but because they're not single task bills, I believe it's actually a very bad bill. I believe the AI, giving federal government power with AI over states, is a very dangerous precedent. I believe the tax increase for really a lot of people is going to happen in this bill because, guess what? What Milton Friedman said. I want to bring this up because this is something that nobody wants to talk about. But listen to what Milton Friedman said. He said, government spending is taxation. And this bill raises the debt ceiling. It literally raises the money. We have a deficit. And I love how people spend it. It's like, well, it's over 10 years. Well, so has every other big spending bill. We just keep raising the debt. Elon Musk said today, he said, what's the point in having a debt ceiling if you're just going to keep on raising it? Same way I tell you all the time with budgeting, and we're going to get into that. But if you have a budget and you just blow it every month, what's the point in having a budget? Well, that's exactly what our congressmen are doing. And now we are allowing a parliamentarian to basically hold this vote up, and John Thune's not doing anything about it. Now, I don't actually like this big, beautiful bill. I've told you this before. I think there's great things in it, like the DHS and securing the border. And I really do think there's some great parts of it. The tax cuts that are going to be permanent. That's great. But the spending part's the problem. And that's why I come back and say, if we went to single task bills, where you say, I have one line out item, here's what we're voting on, that's it. Tax cuts, that's it. That's all we're voting on. But see, the reason they have to hide so much in these bills, Republicans and Democrats, is because they know you wouldn't vote for them. They know you would be up in arms if all of a sudden you see that government is now taking over AI from states and that the federal government has the rights to do whatever they want to do with AI. That's what the big beautiful bill says. Now, am I against Trump in this? No. I'm just saying that's what happens when it gets into Congress. They put all this little stuff in it, telling you it's going to be beneficial to you because they talk about the tax cuts, but they don't talk about all the other frivolous spending they're putting in it. Pork projects are going to kill Americans. You know what it is? It's your congressman doing it. It's my congressman doing it. It is the Senate doing it. It is the weakest among us, the legislative branch, that is doing it. So I actually like what Elon Musk is trying to do, is stand against it. I'm a Trump supporter. And here's the thing I hate the most. This is the sad part. And this is why I said you cannot win when it comes to these kind of things. There was a conservative influencer, I'm going to leave the name out, but his words were, Elon just doesn't know how to play the game. Politics ate him up, chewed him up, spit him out. He's exactly right. You know why? And I think it does it a lot of times with conservatism, is that when you really want change, you're not getting change. You're not going to win against this big behemoth of government. I think what Elon, even being the richest man in the world, having the most technology, literally, that can, without his technology, do you realize NASA could not go to the space station? Do you know satellites wouldn't work? Internet wouldn't work? Do you know the Boring Company is doing amazing things in cities? Again, you may not like him and you may not understand him, and I agree. I think he has some very strange views on a lot of things. But even him being the quote-unquote richest and one of the most powerful men in the world could not be influential with our government. They'll talk and say he is, but honestly he wasn't. So when they say, well, he can't win against the government, that's basically true. It shows the government it's made to basically spend your money. Let's go back to what Milton Friedman said. Milton Friedman, if you don't go back and read about one financier in our history that actually was smart, it was him. It says the real tax on American people is what the government is spending. If the federal government is spending $450 billion and only raises $400 billion, then the taxpayers have to pay the other $50 billion. It's so simple. You pay it, I pay it. The one way to pay the tax is called inflation. Inflation and government spending is literally a tax on Americans. It just doesn't call it tax. He says, so when the government is spending, they're not quote-unquote taxing you more, but they're putting you in the prison of inflation and the expenditures that they are costing. For instance, do you realize the 2020 situation? We blew it out of the water. We spent way more money. We were already in debt. Now we're in debt up to our eyeballs. Now we're surpassing that and drowning in debt. And guess what? That's cost you more, hasn't it? Everything has cost you more. So basically, that was a taxation on you. Now, prime example of why you can't fix it. What this bill actually does, the big beautiful bill, it actually ends up costing a lot of individuals because of the extra spending. So, do I believe Trump or Elon is right or wrong? No, I just believe that the problem is always going to be your legislative branch because they're putting so much in these bills. And, Trump may cover for it sometimes, a Democrat may cover for it sometimes, Elon may cover for it sometimes because they put stuff in the bill. What people realize is, I heard a guy say this one time. He said, if everybody else is making money off the government, why can't I make money off it too? Everybody's getting their piece of the pie, and so everybody's like, well, if everybody else is getting a piece of pie, I might as well write something in the bill too. And that's what Congress is doing. And that's why they'll never do single task bills, because they know you would actually cut out their money. You would cut out their back end deals. You would cut out all that stuff. Anything that government does, anything they touch, is bad. I want you to listen to this quote before we get into the day's sponsor. If the government is involved, avoid it. If the government supports it, reject it. If the government says it's safe, it's probably not. If the government says it's true, it's probably false. If the government wants to help you, it's probably not actually helping you. If the government says you need it, you probably don't. It's kind of the point of the sponsor. Nothing that the government touches is actually simple. It's actually easy. Sometimes it's hard to understand. I mean, think of Medicare. Think of all of you that's been on Medicare. My parents just turned 65. One's turning 65 this week. The other one's turning 65 in a few months. So they've been bombarded with all this, Medicare Part this and supplemental policies and what part is good for them. Are they overpaying? Are they underpaying? Really not understanding what they're getting. It shows that sometimes government is probably not the best answer, but guess what? It's all a part of the system. Can't change that. It's Medicare. When everybody else seems like they're working for themselves and trying to benefit themselves while they're trying to sell you parts of Medicare and understanding Medicare, there's one company that doesn't. Chapter. Now, Chapter makes it easy, not only for my parents, but a bunch of you. If you are on Medicare or fixing to get on Medicare, you need to talk to Chapter. Call this number below. You may not understand what plan is best for you. Well, Chapter's representatives can help you. Call them. They advise for you. They are working for you. It is FREE free. It is free. It costs you nothing. The average person saves $1,100 a year. Now, there could be more savings. So when budgets are tight, when you're retiring and you're trying to figure out Medicare, work with someone who actually wants to be an advisor for you and wants to work for you. They are the ones that go around and look at all plans to say what best benefits you. If you're on the best plan, they're going to tell you that. But if you're not, use them and they're going to advise you in the best way forward. Again, it is free. The average American saves $1,100. There's no pressure. They're not getting commissions off you. A 20 or 30-minute phone call could literally change your life and allow you to gain some more money. The things that we talk about saving money and doing better, things that our government kind of sucks at, they actually are good at. Unlike most people that sell supplement policies, unlike most representative for Medicare, unlike most people who want to kind of take advantage of you, they don't work for the insurance companies. They don't work for the doctors. They don't work for big government. They work for you. Call this number below or go to check my link out in the description. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Now, what did we hope for when it came to RFK? When he became, Make America Healthy Again and became over the HHS, we really thought there's a lot of things going to get done. They were talking about taking these ads off television because they shouldn't be there anyway. Why don't you listen to what was just said? This guy says, this is unacceptable. It says, RFK will now not ban pharmaceutical ads on television. Instead, he says he's going to make them be more honest. See, that's how we do this. That's how government works, man. It spins the story a little bit. The big beautiful bill, tax cuts, all that stuff. It sounds good. No tax on tips. That sounds good. But because they're charging and the bill has gotten more debt in it, then it's ultimately going to cost you more because of inflation. Okay, same situation here. We heard that we were going to get these commercials off. We heard that things were going to get better when it comes to pharma. It's not. Oh, they're going to be more honest. So that means at the very end of the commercial that they already tell you all the things that are going to go wrong with you so quick that you can't even understand it. And people still partake in it because they see this loving couple on television that's got better skin, or they see this loving couple now that can go out of the hospital. They're not seeing the truth. See, it's kind of like this. You remember those like beer commercials and cigarette commercials? They never showed you the bad parts of that. They always showed you the fun time and good time. Well, just because they're going to make them be more honest and talk about the backside of the dangers of some of these medicines, it doesn't change the fact that they did not do what they said they were going to do. Now, again, I'm not trying to rain down on the parade of the Trump administration. What I'm trying to say to you is this: government is too big. You know why? I want you to listen to what RFK said. He said, we're going to make them be more honest, and here's why. The mainstream media could not make it. Could not make it without pharma ads. Some of the biggest players, some of the biggest sponsors when it comes to Congress, lobbies, they see no value in actually being a congressman anymore because of all the money that flows to them. Go look and see what people like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, what they've made off the pharma lobby. It'll blow your mind. This goes along with mostly all our congressmen and all our Senate. Did you know that most ads on television, for if you're watching any satellite television, DirecTV, Dish TV, all those commercials, all those channels, without pharma, they wouldn't make it. That's how you're getting a lot of that content, is because of these kind of ads. So you think they're going to get rid of it? Again, I told you, it's like facing a giant. They can do end arounds, they can try to help, they can try to save money, but they're going to keep on raising the debt ceiling. Same way with RFK. He's going to try all he can, but ultimately he can't win against this because there's not enough people on board. Now, do I blame the Trump administration? No, I blame the fact of the government has gotten too inflated and too big. Sadly, I'm scared to see what would actually take it down to a point where we start saving money again. Sadly, I don't know what it would take to actually start seeing changes actually happen. I'm scared it would take something very, very dangerous. I mean, look at 2020. We went through it and we spent more money. Look at the housing crisis of 08, 09. We spent money through it and did bailouts and we spent more money. Nothing has actually helped us. So I'm scared to see what would actually take us to our knees to make us realize that we do not need to keep doing what we're doing. We're getting let down. I love this comment because this goes along with what I was telling you about pharma. It says, the pharmaceutical industry, it does not create cures. It creates customers. Gosh, that speaks volumes. And I have the most people that push back on me and say, well, look, we would have this and this and this and this if we didn't have pharmaceuticals. I understand that it does give us longevity in some cases. But actually what we've done is it doesn't ever heal us. It makes us reliant on them. I'm sick of being reliant. I'm sick of being reliant on government. I'm sick of being reliant that, my local government's not going to tax me more. I'm sick of being reliant that the people we elect is supposedly going to cut regulation and they never do. I mean, the reason we're spending more of our money is because the government has overspent, and therefore, instead of taxing us, they've caused more for inflation. They've caused more for the cost of living. Did you know the average American says that they cannot make it anymore? They can't buy a house. Who caused that? It wasn't the American people. It was our leaders. Because when they spend too much money, like Milton Friedman said, it's actually taxing Americans. We're the ones paying for it. Now let's go over 5 things that you've got to do. You've got to do, but you've got to realize that no one's actually looking out for you. No matter what party they say they're part of, no matter what they're choosing to say they're going to do for you, they're not working for you. Number 1, you have to get on a budget. You have to live below your means. Now the 5 things I'm telling you, none of these are, the get rich quick. None of these are what you consider deemed sexy. I mean, they're boring, but it's absolutely truth. If you live below your means, no matter if you make $50,000 or $1 million, you will have money and you will be more self-sufficient. You will be more self-reliant. My grandfather, I'm going to tell you the story right quick. My grandfather owned a little store in the middle of the bad part of town. Never made a lot of money. Never. The store never really grew, but he what he did is he learned to build wealth. What he did, he learned to live below his means. He started buying some land. He started buying some real estate. He started buying other things. He started saving money. And guess what? Because he lived lower than his means, actually lived on a very, very average lifestyle. Nothing spectacular. Most people probably thought he was broke. But he was able to buy what he wanted to buy and actually give wealth to his children. Why? Now, I'm not talking a lot of wealth. I'm just talking about a little bit. But he never depended on anyone because he lived lower than his means. Number 2, you got to stay out of debt. One thing I've done is I've learned to say, no matter what, I'm going to drive these piece of junk cars or this or have this piece of junk washer, and we're going to keep on repairing it. After a while, we understand we have to buy more. But here's what I've learned. I've learned that if I don't have a car note, I can pay myself. I learned that if I learn to live with things that sometimes are inconvenience because, like for instance, I jumped in one of my vehicles yesterday and the air is just not working the best that it should. Now, I get to my mindset and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm sitting in a truck burning up in the 90-degree weather. I'm not telling you to live miserable. But what I am saying is this. If we would learn to live without debt, then we can save better. And then guess what? Then we can buy what we needed. I had a guy tell me one time, he said, I buy an old junky car. He said, I pay cash for it. And then what I do is I still act like I'm paying the note on it by paying myself. He said, I write myself a check and I put it in my safe. He said, now the money's still sitting in the account. But what I've done is, psychologically, I've wrote that money out of my account and I've paid for a car note that I don't have. He said, I've actually just paid myself. He said, so it builds up. He said, so therefore, when I have to repair this one, or when I do need to buy a new vehicle, I've already been putting money up. So he says, I've learned to say, I'm not going in debt. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and I'm going to make sure that I'm paying myself, and then when I need something, I go buy it. That's one thing me and Misty have done. We haven't had a car note in I don't know how long. You know why? Not because we're filthy rich, nothing like that. We live in Mississippi, the poorest state in the nation. I go to work every day to do this. So there's no magic button. But here's what I've done, is we knew Aiden was getting older, so therefore we started putting money back years ago. Just $100 here, $50 here, $200 here to buy him that truck that we knew we'd have to have. My daughter's coming up, we're doing the same thing with her. It's almost like the envelope system for Dave Ramsey. I told myself we were not getting in debt on a car anymore. Why? Because they depreciate so quick. Why do I want to go buy the newest, nicest vehicle? It looks great, but as soon as I go to Walmart, somebody's going to hit it with a buggy. It looks great, but as soon as I get a little dent on the hood, it's going to cost me $5,000 to fix it. It looks great, but then we're all of a sudden going to go through a hailstorm. It's going to get damaged and insurance is not going to pay it. And then all of a sudden you got this umbrella policy to cover the rest. All of a sudden you can't afford the tag because it costs too much, and the insurance per month is eating away at my money. What we realize is that truck has cost me a whole lot more than what we thought. So I've learned to say, you know what? I'm not going in debt on things that don't bring me value. So I don't go in debt. Number one, live below your means. Number two, don't go in piles of debt. Number three, if you are in debt, you've got to start paying off your debt. What did we just talk about? The government's not there to help you. They're going to give you this tax cut, but at the same time, because they're raising the debt ceiling or because they're costing more, the taxation is going to cost you, or the inflation is going to cost you. Have you looked at your groceries lately? I mean, it costs too much to live. My wife and I don't buy meat. We have not bought meat in a store for like ourselves. Now, if we're going to do a church event or something like that, we may buy some meat for that. But actually buying like beef or chicken or anything at the store, we haven't bought meat in I don't know how long. Like our pork and our beef and our chicken is costing us less than $2 a pound. I looked at pork and beef and chicken prices the other day. It scared me to death. I can't imagine having to buy meat. We actually had this discussion the other day saying, oh my gosh, if we had to buy food like this and store it, it would cost us arm and leg because we're a family of 8, But what I've realized is if I wanted something and I could not pay for it, I didn't go in debt for it, like we talked about number 2. But then guess what? We were stupid at some point in our life. And we would get this debt because everybody else had debt. We'd buy this car and everybody else told us to buy this car. We would go buy the new mower because we needed to cut our grass, so we'd spend way too much money. So we'd put ourselves in debt. So here's what I'm saying. You've got to get on an aggressive plan. You've got to pay off your debt. If you want Starbucks coffee, but you have debt, you can't buy Starbucks coffee. If you're going to buy that Little Caesars pizza because it's cheap, but you have debt, you don't need to buy the Little Caesars pizza. You need to eat a ham sandwich. If you are literally wanting to take your wife out to eat, instead of doing that because you have debt, why don't you go on a nice picnic? Make your own and then go out, sit at a park and go eat. Actually, you're going to enjoy the time better, and it actually makes it for memory's sake. I told you this story not too long ago. When me and Misty first got married, we didn't really have a lot of debt, but we didn't have a lot of money. So we had this little, I bought her a ring, and so I had this little debt on her ring when we got married. What we've learned to do is we said, look, we love this little steak place that we had in town, and it really cost too much money. It was just a simple casual dining. It wasn't anything major. It was kind of like a private Ruby Tuesdays. But we just said, you know what? We've got to cut it out. We can't afford the $20 or $30 to go eat there. At that time in 06, that was a lot of money. And so what we did is we said, well, we're going to cook at home, learn to make it. And so we would save like $15, or $20 to make it at home. But what we did is we treated ourselves with that one dessert that was so special at that restaurant. So instead of spending $30 or $40, we would just go buy that one $5 dessert. And we would enjoy that. We saved $20 maybe at the store. We may save another $5 or $10 here and there. So we learned to live lower so we could pay that extra money towards the debt. So number one step of actually living below our means, not getting debt on number 2, helps us build enough money to start paying off our debt. If you are spending more than you make, then you're always going to be in debt and you're always going to be a slave to the lender. That's what our government is doing. If our government keeps spending like crazy, taxation or inflation is coming. So if you're already not able to save money, you're not going to get any better. So please, please live below your means. Do not take in debt. And then the debt that you have, you've got to start learning to let a plan. Let that extra money that you've made from your budget go to start paying off your debt. You've got to get out of debt. Number 4, you've got to start being more independent. And what I mean by that is that may look like growing food. That may be growing gardens. That may be growing meat. That also may be that you live in the city and you can't do any of that. But number 4 also says, then I learned to, supply myself with food that's local. I learned to buy from the farmer's market. I learned to find an independent source for that. I learned to say, look, we are not going out to eat every meal. We're going to start cooking from home and learning how to cook better. Think of it, if you could make your own bread and actually have a few little chickens and have your own eggs. Or you could say, okay, look, I'm not gonna go out and buy this burger for $10. I'm gonna go buy meat from the store at $6 or $7 a pound, which is still high, but I can make my own burgers and I'm going to get a lot more, that money's going to go a lot further. Sometimes independence is not you being sustainable and growing it yourself. It's just making wiser decisions on the things that you are having to buy. I look at it like this. If you go to a restaurant, you're paying them not only to cook your food, you're paying them for the food at a premium. You're paying them to do it, them to serve it, and them to run that business for you to sit at that table. When you have a table at home, when you have a stove at home, and when you could go buy this meat at the store and do it yourself. So we have to learn to say, okay, I have to be a little bit more independent. What independence does is it allows us to spend more time at home with our family. It allows us to sit around our table. It allows us to turn the TV off and learn how to make something. My daughter, I'm taking my daughter to a little cooking class today because she loves cooking. What she's done every day up until this point, really since Christmas, is she has cooked something every day. It may be cookies today, it may be a cake, it may be learning how to do meat, it may be learning how to do this or make fries. She's learned to do that because she's building independence. What she's done is she saved money because her cookies are costing a few cents a piece instead of us going to a local bakery and buying a cookie for $3 a piece. Do you see how that works? We spent time teaching her and her learning independence. It didn't take her growing the weed out in the field. It took us buying some extra flour for her to make it indoors. It saves us money, it builds independence, and also it allows us to spend more time in our home making memories. So we have to realize we have to be more independent. And lastly, we have to learn that self-reliance and self-sustainability, self-independence still comes with some dependence, some reliance. And what I've learned is if we can spiritually prep and ground ourselves in wisdom and common sense and in faith, I think that's overall the best option. I like Trump a lot. I like Elon a lot. I like RFK a lot. I like what this administration is doing a lot, but there's still problems. Here's what I've realized is I cannot put my faith, hope, and trust in all those men and for them, they're going to make everything better. I can't put my faith, hope, and trust in every bank that's going to make the stock market go up. I can't put my faith, hope, and trust in every broker to make sure that I have wealth in retirement. I can't put my faith, hope, and trust in Social Security or in Medicare because it's going to take care of me when I get older. But what I can do is I could do these 4 steps and it's going to make my dollar go further. Not only that, I'm going to realize that I can put my faith in one thing, and that's in spiritual things. Christ. One reason I don't have to worry or fear too much about all the stuff going on is because I have someone that's already done everything for me, and that's Jesus. I've learned that if I can spiritually prepare and I can literally focus my attention on the one who makes the sun rise and sunset every day, then it's going to be okay. I may not like what I see in the world, but I do know who's over the world, and that's God. Now, you may not be spiritual. That's okay. You may think that the belief in God is crazy. But I'll be honest with you, it's actually helped me because I've been wiser. I've had a better grounding. I've had an understanding of morals and values better. And it's made all these principles better because I've realized this. If I want to be more sustainable, I had to be a better steward with what God gave me. If I wanted to be more sustainable and I wanted to be a better steward, then I've realized it's given me better satisfaction. I love waking up and seeing the day. That doesn't mean it's not going to have problems, but I do know the one that made the sun come up and the one that's going to make the sun set is in control. So number 5, I've learned to be more self-reliant. I've learned to be more independent, but I've realized I cannot do it all on my own. And when I look to trust, I learn to trust in something bigger than what man gives me, and that's God. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that what we talked about today is important. Is Elon going to get deported? I mean, Trump is trying to start this feud with him, saying he's going to get deported. He's not. The purpose of this conversation, though, is to realize that when we put our faith in people like RFK Trump or Elon or anyone on the Democratic side, they're going to let us down. Our legislators are going to let us down. Our local, state, and federal governments are not going to take care of us. They can make programs to take care of us, but ultimately, the more that they, quote-unquote, take care of you, the more money they're taking from you. The more money they're taking from you is either taxation or an inflation. So these 5 things you've got to do. Live below your means. Don't take on debt. If you've got debt, you've got to get out of debt. By living below your means, you're actually saving more money to put towards your debt. Number 4, understanding that you've got to be more independent. You've got to do more things for yourself, spending more time at home, realizing that you can save every little penny if you're safe. And number 5, understanding that you're not always independent, but independence comes. But if you have to rely on somebody and you have to have dependency on somebody, there's only one, and that is Jesus. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. And before we end, today's winner of the battery bank that we're going to give away, an $800 value that we literally take every time we go on trips. Every time the power goes out, we have these battery banks. The winner of June's giveaway is Virginia Wabry. Virginia Wabry, I may have butchered your name, I'm sorry. She actually joined us 9 months ago. She's one of the top commenters, and she has commented and gave 62 hearts, over 100 comments in those 9 months. What a blessing. Thank you so much, Virginia Wabry. Reach out to us via email. We want to get this to you. We'll get your address. It takes a few days for us to send it, but we will get it all sent to you. Please reach out to us. And again, thank you all for watching. Remember, these giveaways are simply just done randomly. All it takes is you just subscribing and making sure that you are commenting. Again, we don't want anything from you. We hope that you get information that is well, like the sponsor of today's video, Chapter. I hope it helps you. The giveaways, I hope that help you. I hope the information that we talk about helps you. Our goal is to build a community and build a group of individuals that want something different. And sometimes when we put our faith in everything else, we realize it fails us. But if we prepare, we're smart, we have a common sense, we gain wisdom, and then again we rely on the one who makes the sun rise and sunset, it's going to be okay. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.